Hey guys, it is my 6th Spineaversary, and for those who do not know what that is, I will explain in a minute, don't worry. But for those of y'all who know, I cannot believe it. There has been a lot of ups and downs on this journey, y'all. Woo! We will celebrate and we will talk about all of this after the intro. Let's go! What's up, good people? It's a good day for a great day, especially to walk down memory lane. This day 6 years ago was and still is a very monumental day in my life, and it is one of the most traumatizing but heroic days of my life. And this time, I am the hero in my own story. So for those of you who do not know or are just now joining the journey recently as a new subscriber and you may not know, 6 years ago today I had scoliosis surgery. Scoliosis has to do with your back and your spine, and so that's why I like to call it my Spineaversary, or otherwise known as the day I got screwed up for life. That's my little inside joke that keeps me from crying, because there are so many things about this journey that are emotional and hard, although positive results have stemmed from this. Essentially, a Spineaversary is like the anniversary of your scoliosis surgery. I don't know when I'll share like an updated scoliosis surgery journey story again, just because I have before. My 3rd Spineaversary, I think I did, but since then this ongoing journey has brought out more lessons and experiences. So maybe next year when I hit year 7 I'll talk, or maybe go back through the whole journey again. But there are some new people joining the journey that need a little backstory. So I found out I had scoliosis when I was 12 on September 18th 2018. I got x-rays to confirm it was scoliosis in February, the 26th of February 2019. 80% of my spine was already curved, leaving my best option as surgery. My first pediatric orthopedic appointment at UAB Clinic 11 was March 18, 2019. Pre-op, May 20th, 2019. Surgery was June 18th, 2019. And it was a 5.5 hour long operation. So in less than 9 months, my life changed drastically from being diagnosed to getting surgery. So that's like a brief timeline of events, but this vlog is more so to talk about the ups and downs, the emotions, the lessons learned. And I've talked about my favorite sermon a lot on this channel. It's called Sacred Surprises in Stressful Seasons by Pastor Reginald Sharp Jr. back in 2023 when he preached for House of Hope Atlanta's church anniversary. That sermon always takes me back to this time in my life, because even through the hardest of times in that phase, there were so many blessings and positive things, even though it didn't feel like it all at once. And we'll dive into that as well. But the hardest and longest part of recovery for me has been the nervous system. I started realizing that it is and will be the last thing to fully and completely heal. And the things that feel normal for other people are things that like make me kind of spaz, or like I have muscle spasms, which are the absolute worst. If you know what those are and you've felt that, then you know. And some parts of my back are numb and other places I can feel. And it's very weird because it's like an on and off switch non-stop. And so this is what led to kind of like me having muscle jerks more recently. And sometimes I have like this uncontrollable movement in reaction to muscle spasms. I've realized that I hate being cold just because that's what triggers it the most. And like the muscle jerks are because my body is trying to create body heat, which makes me shake uncontrollably, which makes your body like tense up and kind of stress a little bit. And so it is a lot to deal with, but I have tried to remain as calm as possible in those seasons where I don't feel my best. And I have the sweetest and best friends and family who are always there in those times where I feel just frustrated or overwhelmed, overstimulated, and just not at my best. So now being at year 6, having another complete 365 days to kind of just further understand all of this. I see the bigger picture of certain moments and seasons throughout this journey. At the same time, we cannot completely dismiss those harder times, but I just wanted to share that in those struggles so that you know that it is not as easy as it looks. And sometimes, that is what I mean when I say that this is an ongoing journey. There's so many things that I've learned in the past 6 years about not just scoliosis, the condition itself, but the recovery process and just myself as a person, and especially my strength, which we're going to get into. And sometimes I do miss the me before surgery, just because of how strenuous this recovery has been on my body. But I am thankful that it saved my life, and I am grateful to have my life back. This surgery has given me my future back. In the time period from being diagnosed while also waiting for surgery, my future was very unstable. The surgery provided that reassurance that I wouldn't have otherwise if I didn't get the surgery. And I knew I didn't want to be in my early teens and in my 20s and 30s using a wheelchair or cane or anything like that. And so surgery was best, and there's fewer complications getting it like early on than to wait later. And also my spine was curved 80%, guys, okay, 80%. And so it was affecting other organs in my body. And so this is why it hurt to do everything: sit, stand, sleep, lay down, walk, function as a whole, because I was tired and depleted all the time. Like no pillow, no medication, like nothing really worked. And it was so frustrating. And so looking back at this day holds a lot of emotions. Gratitude, just that I was able to survive. I don't even want to talk about how scary this was. And sometimes I don't think I fully understand how scary it was, just because my emotions were just everywhere. And there were so many times I had to tell my parents to stop telling me stuff that was happening, that was going on with me while I was like under, because it was too much. Like it was too much. It was crazy. And it was also scary. I was just scared kind of like the unknown, and just like, will I wake up and see my parents, or will I wake up and be in a completely different world in heaven, and see my Meemaw that had passed just 2 days prior. Meemaw literally passed 48 hours before my surgery. It was wild for our family. And then this is also happy, because I've made it this far, and this recovery has pushed the limit far beyond physical, emotional, and mental. And so it's just taught me to give myself grace when much change has taken place. So there are different emotions that my heart feels all at once, just because it's been a roller coaster. And in about a week from now, I will be headed to my last UAB appointment. And I think I've cried a little bit each week as we're getting closer to that day, just because my surgeon was my pediatric orthopedic doctor who has taken care of me since the very beginning. Since the very first time we stepped foot in his office, like trying to just find answers and trying to wrap our minds around what was going on. And he is also a Christian doctor, and so there's no doubt in my mind that God used him to do what needed to be done to save my life and my future from day one. The care, consideration, thoughtfulness, treatment, amazing, stellar. And so sometimes the greatest achievements come with the hardest goodbyes, and this season it has been sweet. But as I'm getting closer to appointment day, I'm like dreading it just a little bit more each day, just because we've gained such a sweet family there along this journey. And it's just weird thinking like no more summers going down to Alabama for an appointment. Like, it's just weird now being 18 and like no longer being in the age range to be under my pediatric orthopedic doctor. Like, I can't talk too much more about it because I've already been leaky faucet, and that's just but like, being completely honest, like I don't really trust anybody else. Like, honestly, I really don't. Like, I'll get an adult doctor, that's closer to home, but like, I already have this connection here. And it's just the people, the vibe, like, I don't know how I'm feeling about it. It's just a lot to think about and take in. But people have been asking me what I learned on this journey, which is a lot of things. I learned about myself as a person and my characteristics, my strength, confidence, courage, and just patience. Before all of this happened, I never had any surgeries. Surgery was new and different in a world I never knew. And then I also learned on this journey that rest is not a sin. I've never been the one to put me up there. So I think that mentality comes with my grandparents and parents being pastors and always kind of like being that spiritual mentor for others on a consistent basis. And so when you lead others, it is never about you. It is always about helping the other person. So I'll support you, I'll do for you. But when it comes to me, I just want to serve. I just want to be there for others. And in some ways, that mentality has kind of been, bad. But other times it's been good. And I think that just comes with the good heart that I have. And I've learned how to be seated in a place of letting others do for me what I was always doing for others for so long, and not be selfish about it, because by that time I definitely earned it. And then I also learned that this is a journey, literally. Like, I know I've exhausted the word journey when I talk about this part of my life, but that's what it is. It's a journey. And just to not be discouraged when I don't feel the version of normal that I think I should feel or want to feel. And just when you think it's over, it's not. 5 to 6 years later, I was and I still am learning and experiencing things. I've learned to have patience with myself and have grace, and I get ready earlier than everybody so I can take my time and I don't feel rushed and end up straining something, or I sleep later than everybody else because sometimes I'm extra exhausted. And if I don't feel like going anywhere, I'll decline, I'll reschedule, I'll cancel, the whole 9, because I have to physically feel good, which has effects on your mental and emotional state of being. So those are like the top 3 things I've learned in this journey. It's a beautifully emotional season, and I'm so grateful for every single thing. Yes, it's been hard, but it has pulled me closer to God in so many ways, and my family, and just discovering the strength I never would have discovered if this didn't happen. So what a life I have had. So I'm going to celebrate my Spineaversary, but not too hard though, because I do want to celebrate in a more grand way during the weekend of my last appointment, which I can hopefully bring you guys along for in about 2.5 weeks. But I just wanted to share this moment with you and talk about what it's been like, what I've learned, because this is very special. But I love you guys so much. It's my Spineaversary!